And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, onto something a bit more lighthearted. So, Sneaky Outlaws channel. Unpopular opinion about Echoes. I don't know if I can answer that right now because, well, I don't know what all the opinions on Echoes are at the moment. Echoes is still quite early on. The one thing I will say, I don't think it has the best soundtrack as of now, because like I said with like with Radiant Dawn, where it's like the tracks are strong, but some of them kind of blend in and they kind of like blend into one another. Whereas like other soundtracks like Fate's, Path of Radiance, Sacred Stones, oh boy, poor Fate. Yeah, that's what she. Her dragon sprite is so roly-poly. It's adorable. It's strangely adorable, but she is like a tiny little dragon. But she's level 1 and the stats aren't the best. But that's why I decided to train her up. But again, I don't think its soundtrack is the best, only because not only do I find a lot of the tracks loop. Like I hear like the battle theme so fucking much in like various chapters. It's the same one. But also, again, some of the tracks kind of blend in. Don't get me wrong, there's some really strong tracks, but I don't think it's the best soundtrack. I still think that other games have better soundtracks. Also, another unpopular opinion, again, this is just how I feel at the moment. Echoes is probably one of the fighting games I see myself coming back to the least, based on how things are now, but yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say unpopular opinion because the general consensus is all up in the air at the moment. Echoes has been out less than a week. No, actually, it's out, as this recording, it's been out just a week. Yeah, it's just been out a week, so, you know, there's only so much people could say. From Pig Skipper Porky. Favorite bad unit from Fire Emblem? Well, if this playthrough is any evidence, Wendy. Favorite bad unit from Fire Emblem? If we're talking bad unit, we're looking more objective, because characters are subjective. Probably might be Amelia, only because I really like Amelia as a character. I think she's adorable, and I love her sport with friends, but also, thanks to, because you can grind in Sacred Stones, and what I do is, like with Amelia, I train her up to become a knight, like get her to the right level that she's unparalleled with the group, and then from there, I find she's because she's the only other knight you can get in the game, so I can essentially have 2 generals, which, you know how much I love generals. So, with Amelia, she often turns out, I give her the nickname the Lightning General because she's pretty fast. So I like using Amelia quite a bit, because again, it's just another general to my party, so I'm like, hell yeah. Obviously there's Wendy I like using if this playthrough's any evidence. Sophia's not one of them, because I'm not huge on using Sophia, I just happen to get lucky. Soph's also another one, because, especially in Path of Radiance, I do like Soph's character. I think in Path of Radiance he has got good support, especially with Astrid. And in Radiant Dawn, I do like Soph. I like his character, I think he's a good unit. Not one of the best, but I think he's good. But I like using Path of Radiance as well, because, yeah, I just like Soph. I think it's cool. Actually, Nina's one of my favourites. I love Nina. Can be a bit of annoying to train, but she's not the worst. She's not like, trying to think of, again, it's easier to train Nina than it is Wendy, Sophia, definitely Sophia, and, possibly Soph even. Yeah, Soph's not easy to train. But Nina I like because I think her character's wonderful. And she can, again, with enough training, she can become good. It's just, she appears so damn late. I'm trying to think for every fighting game, bad units I like using. Well, it's kind of hard to say for like the later games because there aren't that many quote-unquote bad units. Like, with Fates, the only real bad unit I can think of is Gunter. And no, I do not like using Gunter. Revelations, because I have access to all these other fucking people I can grind. Why the hell would I use Gunter? Conquest, while it's linear, and Gunter, in Chapter 15, I do find useful, but then I counter-argue. I have Perry, she's a way better Great Knight than you'll ever be. That Bloodthirst does not lie. And I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about Perry as a character, I'm talking about her personal skill. That personal skill is amazing. I love Bloodthirst or Bloodlust, whichever it is. That's the one thing Perry will always have, one of the best personal skills. And with Awakening, again, because of grinding, I don't really even use Donald that much. I know he's easy to break, but honestly, don't really like using him. I honestly, with Awakening, and Fate's the same. I don't really use like... alright, this doesn't really count for Donald because he's not a child unit, but I don't really use the child units aside from Lucina, Cynthia, and Wayne. Every other one I just stick with the adults. I just prefer using them. Same with Fates. More so Fates. Like, I barely use any child units in Fates. Normally, like, I use kind of sometimes. I use Midori. I definitely use Midori. I love Midori. I use... Not really Ophelia. I use Mitama. I like Mitama. I use... Siegbert sometimes use. Forest I use. I like Forest. Yeah, one thing that's good is because Faye's such a low level, her experience just skyrockets. Full level up! And then, yeah, because of her growth rates, yeah. Nice. I just wanted to get in a few more levels because, you know, while you don't have to level her up by the time she reaches the end game, I just wanted to do it because, you know, if I've got the spare space, might as well use it. I like how the game had to pause because there's all the other units, like, if they were alive, would they have gone first? But it's like, no, they're all dead, so we've got to wait. Got to wait everyone's turn. But as far as bad units go, oh, and Radiant Dawn, Astrid is not that I like using her. I just find it quite funny just to, like, I just find it kind of funny that I'm able to make her thingamajig by part 4. Even then, it's ultimately pointless, and I'm gonna, but I just find it kind of funny. Is there any other bad units I like using? Well, Radiant Dawn not so much because that type of, this is a much harder game, I'm less prone to using the bad units. It's like, I could train Meg and Fiona, but I ain't got time for that. The game's kicking my asses already as it is. At least in part 1. Okay, so yeah, those are the bad units I like using. I think the number 1 is either Nino, Wendy, Soph, or Amelia. One of the 4. Leaning more towards Nino and Amelia. Okay, and... Alright, next question is from Nicholas Chapa. Favorite tactician? Robin, Corrin, Mark, or New Mischief the Emblem Avatar? New Mischief the Avatar's a weird one. I haven't played that game yet. I want to, because I got it... Well, after I beat Echoes and... What's its name? Genealogy, I'm going to play it, and I'm really looking forward to that. I hear mixed things. I hear some people really like him, and then some people can't stand him. I think Chris was his name, or whatever. So, I can't comment. Mark is nothing but a blank slate. So, you know, can't really say. And out of Robin and Corrin, I think the answer's obvious at this point. Robin. I don't like Corrin. I've made it, like, aside from the fact he's got good skills, the idea behind Corrin was nice, and, is there anything else I like about Corrin? Not really, no. Yeah, but Robin I legit like. I think, like, but the thing is, he's not really an avatar because he has a very distinct personality. I know some people say he's a blank slate. I don't see it, because Robin is a type of, like, very level-headed type person, but also quite the he is pretty snarky at times, and also quite, condescending, but also, like, he's pretty stern as well. Like, even in Support Vesumiya, he's not really into, like, fantasy stuff. He's more of a logical person. So I don't really see him as a blank slate, which is kind of weird, but I just like Robin. I thought he was a cool character. I just liked him. I thought Robin was overall pretty damn cool. So as far as tactician goes. I know some people say he's a bit of a Mary Sue. I don't see it because that time with Emerin, it's like, oh shit, I fucked up. I fucked up big time. Sorry. Oh yeah. Percival versus Monarchy. He's gonna have 1 HP by the end of this. It's gonna be interesting. Ow. Thank God for the Weapon Slayer. You can take those, it's like, that and the legendary weapons is what you're gonna take to the end game. And a shit ton of healing items. So, yeah, and Corrin, yeah, don't like Corrin. I mean, I like using him as a unit. I like some of the ideas behind Corrin, but aside from that, Corrin, die in a fire. Okay. Next question from Napoleon Barbosa. I think I get that. I think I get the reference. Will you do a Fire Emblem top 10 characters from each class eventually? Funny you should ask, because I've been asked this before. One of my plans is, when I don't know when, this might either be later this year or sometime next year, again, I've already got a shit ton to do. I plan to do another Fire Emblem marathon, and it is going to be top 10 units per class, but we're going to look at things more objectively in terms of which ones are the actual best in terms of gameplay, not which ones are my favorite. Though I imagine I might put a little bit of like personal preference in there in terms of their character and stuff, but only a little bit. Like, say, here's a scenario for you. Say, in terms of objectiveness, Percival and Xander were equal in terms of which paladin was the best. Let's just say, again, I know people will point out who is the best, but let's just say, for example, Percival and Xander, they're perfectly equal. Then I would say Xander's slightly better only because in terms of his supports, not in regards to story, we've all seen the gas station video, and yes, he brings up a brilliant point. I really love support science. Support Xander, and even just Support Xander is a fantastically written character, and I find him way more interesting than Percival. This is why Xander was like second in my favorite Fates characters. Really love Xander. So that's how I would do. I would lean slightly if it was a tie in terms of usefulness. But if it was a case of, say, let's give another example. Say we were doing Knights. And it was out of Gilliam and Effie. And objectively, Effie was better, but I preferred Gilliam as a character. I'd rank Effie higher because she's objectively better. So I do plan to do that. I do plan to do it for a marathon at some point. I just need to decide how to break up each one because you've also got to consider it's like with bow units. Are you just doing bow units or are you considering ballistas and bow knights? It's the same way. Okay, you're going to do mounted units. Does that include great knights? Does that include paladins? So, there's a lot to consider. So I will be doing that, and I will be doing like best from each class because I think that'd be a lot, quite interesting to do to see which ones are the best. And it'll also be interesting to I thought it'd be pretty cool where we have to acknowledge characters like you may love or hate this character, but at the end of the day, they're a good or bad unit. I think that's what the list will emphasize. So it might be a way when I do best Wyverns, because I haven't done I don't know which Wyvern is the best objectively, but Camilla I'm pretty confident in the top 5 because she's damn good. So it's like you may hate Camilla, but there's no way around it. She's a damn good unit. No personal bias inside. She's just a damn good unit. That's how it goes. It's the same way. I don't care what, no matter what personal bias dictates, Wendy sucks. This playthrough is certainly proven to be good, but that's only this playthrough. Watch how someone else tries the same thing and Wendy dies in the first turn. Or as we like to call it, hard mode. So yeah, definitely plan to do that. I just need to also plan very far ahead, because if I was going to make the videos, I'd like them to keep coming quite often, so I had to plan ahead, make sure I've got everything, and I also want to broaden my horizon with Fire Emblem games so that, oh, poor Milady, she's just stuck. I'd also like to broaden my horizon with Fire Emblem games so I can look at units from all corners. Because there are some units in the older games that still hold up. If we were doing best Swordmasters, Ira's got to be on there. There's no two ways about it. Or if we were doing best bow users, Jamek's got to be on there. No two ways about it. It's the same way if we were doing best bow users of bow knights, Sue and Sin both got to be on there. No two ways about it. Best berserker, Gonzalez has got to be on there. So again, I'd like to broaden my horizon more with Fire Emblem games before I start doing that. I'll try and get around to it as soon as I can. But yeah, because I wanted to first time I used a rescue staff in this fucking map. Because Gale comes along and thingamajig, get them support, and I love that conversation. This support's quite cute. I really like the support between Faye and Sophia. It's really, really adorable because it's just Sophia explained to Faye how her dragon things work and her importance and stuff. But it's really, really cute because you see Sophia as the bigger sister figure. And gosh darn it, Faye is just the cutest little thing. Bless her soul. Even her sprite looks adorable. You just want to give Faye a little pat on the head. Bless. Yeah, if I ever do, which I will do at some point, cutest Fire Emblem characters, Faye is definitely going to be on there. Which should be number 1? I don't know. And now I want to see Faye and Elise in the same room having a support conversation. I will vomit rainbows, it'll be so cute. So yeah, top 10 characters per class, it'll be another marathon related thing. But it definitely need a lot of planning. It's not something I'm just going to pull out of it's not something I'm just going to do out of left field. I'll have to really plan in advance. And again, the game waits so long to get around to the parts. I also find it really ironic that Gale didn't attack. He just stood there. Which I found it's you think, he'd attack, but oh well, maybe not. And we're coming up to the last question, but I need to drink this water because I've been talking too much. Oh, that's good. It's kind of hot, yeah. It's actually relatively hot today. It's beautiful weather though. Because, yeah, after a whole week, 2 weeks of shit weather, finally started getting good. The weather got good. Get good, weather, get good. Okay, so, last question. What class from the GBA games do you think is most underrated? Ah, interesting. GBA classes that I think are underrated. I don't know if he's the person saying... Oh, I forgot to mention who it was from. Sorry, let me do that now. It's from Dark Arts Ninja. Okay, I don't know if it's... fucking missed. I don't know if it's in regards to, like, the classes the GBA era introduced, or classes within the GBA era that you think are underrated. Like, or maybe they excel in the GBA era, but no one seems to, like, notice. This, honestly, this feels right here. Not gonna lie, like, first time playing I didn't really notice, but, oh god. I really like Gale now. Gale, I think, is kind of underrated villain. Because, like, just the way, you know, like, no matter what happens, even though a lot of shit was put against him, he's fortunate and happy to have what he has. And, I really like, you know, like I said, those are the happiest days of my life. Just the fact that he got to be within Bern, be a general, be with these peaceful. And, oh god. It's powerful stuff. I actually kind of, like, feel sad killing him. Really like Gale. I think Gale, Gale, man. Props. Underrated. Definitely underrated. You know, you and Ella would just have a talk. You two are really underrated, but you can't survive the Brave Bow, I'm sorry. Narcian's at least Narcian had the Delphi shield, but poor Gale. Poor Gale. I kind of feel sad for him. Moment of silence, please, for Gale. So anyway, back to the question. Underrated classes from the GBA era. No, because some GBA era, most classes are pretty good. Paladins are really good in GBA era. Berserkers are really good. I don't know about archers, because I remember there was like that blog post saying how archers suck in the GBA era, though I've never had a problem with them. Mages are all pretty good in the GBA era. Though admittedly, I'm not a huge fan. Like, while I like bow knights in this game, not so much the other two. Wyverns are really good in this era. But I don't know if they're underrated, but actually, no, Heath's not that good. Yeah, I don't think Heath's that good as a Wyvern. Yeah, more Stu and Sin stuff. Again, it's nothing we haven't seen before, so, you know. Just them two, they need to support each other. One cannot exist without the other, as they say. Shit. Actually, one I do think is underrated is the warrior class. While in this game it's not evident, because they're not particularly good, blazing swords and especially sacred stones, I really like warriors. You know, they're quite bulky. They've got a shit ton of HP. They have a lot of attack power. They have access to bows. Their sprite is amazing. They're one of my favorite. I really like warriors. Again, I've always in blazing sword, I use Dorcas quite a bit. I really like him. I even use Barter quite a bit. In what's its face? In Sacred Stones, I use Garcia a lot. I really like Garcia. So I think in that sense, Fingy's kind of underrated. The warrior class. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not as good as Berserker classes, and I still think they're one of the lesser classes, but I think in the GBA era, they're definitely better than they are usually. I'm trying to think, other classes GBA era kind of underrated. Maybe generals. Only because I noticed generals in the GBA era are quite strong. I mean, again, this, not counting this game, but Oswin's really good, Gilliam's really good, and, especially Sacred Stones where they could wield swords, really like generals. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some great, like, I think Conquest was where generals were at their prime with Effie and Benny, because, Sophia with a low crit, again with this overkill. Because Benny was the ultimate tank, his defense is insane, and Effie was a general where her attack was insane, so I think both of them are like must-haves for any person playing Conquest. Ow. So, I think they really brought up to speed, and again, they're good in Tellius too. They weren't particularly impressive in Awakening, but I think maybe GBA era generals are a little underrated. A little bit, not massively. What else? Any other classes underrated? Really, really finding it difficult to think, because GBA era most of the classes are pretty good. Oh, shit. No, I think that's about it, because Assassins are really good. Rogues I don't care for, but again, in which case I don't think they're underrated. Actually, Troubadours. I think Troubadours are a bit underrated in GBA because they're really damn good. I find. Like, Clarine's really good. Priscilla I find really good. Even La Rochelle I find really good. I really like Valkyries in the GBA era, and I really don't hear people saying much about them. So, you know, Troubadours. Troubadours and Valkyries. I think they're good in the GBA era. But anyway, yeah. Wait, no, he's not ready to promote yet. No, yeah, we've got one more fight. But yeah, Ray's gonna promote soon. It's like, oh god. I could have had this 10 chapters earlier, but no. No. And another crit. Yeah. Dark Mages, man. All they need is 1% crit and they'll land it. So that's all the questions over and done with. If you guys still have more, again, we've still got, like, the rest of the parts, because we're nearly up the end of the game. I've spoken about as much as I can about Binding Blade. Again, I will happily answer whatever questions you want. Yeah, the ones I can get around to, especially because some of these next parts are getting quite beefy. Though, I have asked Olivia to come back for part 22, just because that's when we fight Zephiels, so I'm like, you know, can you please be there for that? So, you know, that one, and even then, I'll probably answer questions then. So again, feel free to ask as many questions like I enjoy answering these, even if one of them caused me to vent quite a bit. But, you know, stuff like that. Do I still have... Oh yeah, I still have the secret shop soon. Yeah. But there isn't many turns left. Oh yeah, they have because it's Binding Blade tradition. I'll just see you later. They've got one bolting user because this game just has the biggest hard-on for bolting. God damn, this game has freakish hard-on for bolting. Oh, little Fei. Actually, that's well, to be fair, 23. Again, I wouldn't recommend using Fei a lot before going in, just a bit, because again, her Dragonstone only goes up to 30 and you're not getting it fixed. This ain't Awakening, you can't buy Dragonstones. Which I always found funny, you just casually buy a Dragonstone. It's like you go down to well, in America, like, because for us, like, I don't know, go around to Tesco. Yeah, you got any Dragonstones thing? In America, go to Walmart. Yeah, you got some Dragonstones on sale? Just casually go in. Buy one, get one free on Dragonstones. Woo! Gotta love it. Oh. I want to know how long it'll be until I finally get around to the first Echoes video. I think my first Echoes video will be my thoughts on the game, because I'd rather get my thoughts out before doing like top 10s and stuff like that. I don't know how many I can do at this point though, because like I can do characters easily, I can do soundtrack, I can do... What I want to do definitely is top 10 features, because some of the like specific features to Echoes are so fucking good. And I could probably do top 10 supports as well, because there are some good ones in there. The only thing is just like doing... I don't even know if I could do best and worst maps, because they're just so bland and generic, I can't, like, nothing comes to mind. So I don't expect too many Echoes videos, but I'll definitely have some out there. The more I think about Echoes, the more I think, like, I think they didn't change things up enough. Like, a lot of the new additions are cool, but the core game, they really didn't change what was flawed about Gaiden in regards to, like, map design and lack of enemy variety and stuff like that. So, and I think that's kind of hurting the game. Yeah, of course, there's the bolting. So, I mean, I reckon because, you know, Gaiden is such a unique family game, they didn't want to stray too far and just keep it intact. Fair enough, I give him props, but I will say, because I remember seeing on Twitter, the guy who, like, I remember one of the people that worked in the game, I think it was the head director, said he'd like to do Binding Blade Remake. If he does, don't do just a code for code remake of Binding Blade. For the love of God, change up things for the better. Don't make it so Rogue promotes at Chapter 21X again. Don't make it so that the game has a weird fetish for staves and bolting. Don't make it that the character balancing is dreadful. Do stuff to, you know, update the game and make it right. I mean, yeah, there's the risk of losing it. But I reckon, even if they did add more classes to Echoes and gave us more chapters with not only diverse levels, but more objectives, why is every single mission a fucking route mission? It's worse than Awakening. I reckon it would, like, there's still more than enough features to give Echoes to keep them with the guide and identity. They're just improving on the stuff that was flawed back then. And I hope they do the same thing for if they do a Binding Blade remake. You know, work on the level design, make shit so that every map isn't fucking C's, work on the character balancing and all that other stuff. And you'd still have Binding Blade. It would just be, I love the Brave Lance, 4 times in a row. It'd still be Binding Blade. It'd just be all slightly different and, but with improvements. I doubt you'd lose its that sense of identity. You know, don't be afraid to try something different. Especially because, especially with something that's already flawed. Make it better. Just make it better. We'll have to wait and see. I know people are asking for the Genealogy remake. That game could definitely do with some improvements. First things first, if you do not put trading back in that game, I'm going to fucking come down to Intelligence Systems and punch whoever decided that in the face. We need trading back. I hate the fucking, its system from Genealogy. The pawn shop system. Is it so hard to just trade items? Really? I know gold isn't, it's kind of easy to come across in Genealogy, but is it really so hard just to put in a trade feature? Ugh. You know, topology, don't change it too much, because it does, because the game is built around multiple objectives, so you will need that traveling, but definitely make it so that not mounted units are still useful. Maybe what would be interesting is maybe have, multiple objectives going on at once where, you've got to conquer this castle, but at the same time you've got to defend one of your other castles. So you'd have the mounted units go off to attack one castle. Nice crit. But in the meantime, you would have, your, not so fast units bring up the rear and defend the other castle from a small squad, not a big one. But anyway, Raigh has finally promoted. This is Roy's going to promote next chapter. So yeah, here's Raigh. It is wonderful druid sprite and oh boy, look at those stats. I bet Raigh's there you could have had this. I could have been yours, Blazing Knight. You could have had me. I would have submitted to you. But no. You just had to go with Sophia. I was going to go with you, but I lost a fucking bet. Sad times, but hey, man, I got you to do something. Oh, man. Wendy's doubling a lot of people. I find it ironic that out of all the things Wendy could have done well in, speed. But hey, level up for me. What did she get this time? Please more strength. Come on, please more strength. Yay! And more defense. Alright, she was built like a general that time. Yeah, so Genealogy Remake could definitely do some work. I think it's the one that needs it the most, but I see Binding Blade Remake only because more people know Binding Blade, and Roy's more than made his impact on people in the West. So, you know, Binding Blade Remake I'm all for. You know, just, for the love of God, don't be afraid to change things up. You know, remakes should be there to take what didn't work before and make it better. Look at the Pokemon remakes. Gen 3 was infamous for having, the crappiest post-game ever. Here's a secret shot, by the way. But what they did, they turned it to have one of the best post-games ever. You know, they do that. Don't be afraid to do that. Oh yeah, give the bottling to Sophia because she fucking needed it. No, I don't do boots. That's overkill. Jeez. Yeah, again, you shouldn't be afraid to, stray from the formula. You don't have to do it word for word, as I say. It's the same way I feel with certain manga anime adaptations. I know people always say, it's I don't like it because it didn't follow the manga. It's it's an adaptation. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out for the best when they don't follow the manga, like the original Hellsing. But sometimes it can. I think the original Fullmetal Alchemist is a great example. I think it's a wonderful way of not following the manga, but still being really good. Again, it's an adaptation. You're adapting the source material. You can make changes if you feel they're for the better. It might not work, but I'd rather take something that tried something different and tried to introduce new ideas rather than just, I can just, it's just the same and it looks better. Again, if I want the, if I want the Gaiden experience of, a proper hardcore, old school Gaiden, I'll just play fucking Gaiden. Echoes, I'd like a more updated Gaiden experience that brings it into the modern and takes the best elements from other Fire Emblem games. It does some of that, yeah, but it forgets to let go of the stuff that made Gaiden sucky. I'm not saying Gaiden's a bad game. I'm not saying Echoes is a bad game. Hell no. I think Echoes is a great game. It's just, once again, I'm in that middle ground where I don't think it's the worst Fire Emblem game, but I sure as hell don't think it's the best one. I don't know how people are going to react to this on the when I post it on the main channel. Yeah, it's going to be a weird one. It's going to be a weird one. I also want to see how Gaiden Echoes fares over time. Because I actually want to see how many people will go back to Echoes. Because I know the hype is really big now, but I'm honestly interested if years down the line, people are still going to be like replaying, talking about Echoes, or whether it will just be a one and done thing. Like, because even now, people are still talking about Awakening, and like, they still go back and play it. Fates varies. Fates, it varies. Fates is like that game you either love or hate within the fan base. There's no like, oh, I think Fates is alright. It's a case of, oh no, you either love or hate Fates. And even then, like, that kind of transcends all three pathways. It's not like, oh, I can like one pathway but not the other. It's like, no, you either love or hate all three pathways. Weird. But, yeah. So I want to see how Echoes does in the long run. As for sales, I hear it's doing okay. Oh yeah, the reason I chose to fight Murdoch as Roy is just because you get certain conversation. And also, Murdoch did say, I'd like to fight Roy. And it's like, you know, that proves just how shitty he is. I'd like to fight you, Roy. Wait, you're leading this army? You fucking suck! Oh, fight Milady, yeah. I don't want to fight you, Milady, but... Why? Because you're sad? No, because you're fucking awesome! Thank God for that axe reaver. Yeah. Murdoch isn't too bad. General, throne, magic user. That's pretty much how it goes down. But, you know, to be fair, I'm kind of sad about killing Murdoch because I kind of like him. He's not one of my favorite villains or a massively standout one, but I think he's kind of cool. Especially his loyalty to like Zephiels and stuff. He's out like if someone had to like portray loyalty to a certain character, but like the people of Bern, they really have that whole loyalty thing down. Like Murdoch, Gale, Milady, all of them. They're with it. Shit, my throat is starting to hurt like a bitch. I don't think he's going to survive this. Yeah, I think it's over for you, Murdoch. Your king murdered my thought. Oh, shit. You made it. Oh, shit. And the air caliber broke. There's always something for the longest time I always wondered how books break, but I reckon it's a case of they read through the passage and then the passage like buds up. So that's how I reckon how, you know, books would break in Fire Emblem. Like, you know, when you cast a spell and certain things, like the page glows and then when it's gone, like the thing just disintegrates. I reckon that's how it works. But level up for Lilina. Woohoo! Is this going to be a big one or a small one? Ah, magic and defense. What you get? So anyway, that is that. We've conquered the chapter, but it's not over yet. There's one more legendary weapon to get. The last one in the game. Is it the last one? Yeah, it's the last one. Well, technically Zephiels got the last one, but it's the last one we go out of our way to find. So so, goddamn. Yeah, you had to do this within 30 turns, otherwise I think the thing gets destroyed. But until then, thank you all very much for joining me. This was a beefer of a part, but I still enjoyed it. Sorry, like, if any of you did feel the venting part was a bit, like, I got a bit angry. Sorry about that, I just had to get it off my chest. But thank you for staying tuned. Again, sorry for venting, but I really do love you guys. Just as one or two people that get under my skin, and I've been holding it back for a while. But next time, I'm gonna get our final legendary tome in the game, and then we take the fights to feel. But until then, thank you for watching. See you next time.